Hi, this is Brian Fogarty, and this is a video for Chapter 15 of the book Quantitative Social Science Data with R, second edition. And in this video, what we're going to do is do a little data visualization between the variable Paul satis, so satisfaction in the political system, and then support for a authoritarian regime / strong leader. And so everything we've done here we did before, mostly in chapter 8 on data visualization. There is one thing that we'll do that we have not done before, but we have done it in a different version. Okay, so we're just going to do one of these. So in the chapter there's two of these data visualizations. We're just going to do one here, just to show you, because the second one's pretty similar to this first one. Okay, now we're trying to think about how do we visualize this relationship, because political satisfaction goes from 1 to 10, and then strong leader has 4 categories. Okay. So we're kind of hamstrung a little bit on our options. So what I do in the chapter is say, okay, let's do a bar plot where we do dodge values for the strong leader variable. Okay, and then we'll take a look and try to make some sense of it. All right, we're gonna load library scales, because we're going to include percentages on the y-axis instead of just counts. All right, we're going to first do a little manipulation of the data. So we're going to do Kenya subset. Again, we created Kenya subset in the previous video. Both the variables have missing values, so we want to filter those out. So we're going to do filter not is NA, Paul satis. That's a hard thing to say out loud, isn't it? All right, and not is NA, strong leader. Okay, so we have that. We filtered that out, and then we're going to do continuation, and then we're going to use mutate, and what we're going to do is add labels to the strong leader variable. So I'm just going to add these directly onto it here. So strong leader equals as factor. So we're going to do this in 2 steps. As factor strong leader, and then comma strong leader equals recode strong leader, comma, and then I'm going to pull this back, and then we'll add the labels. So we have 1 equals very bad, comma, 2 equals fairly bad, comma, 3 equals fairly good, comma, 4 equals very good. Okay, so those are the labels. Got them on there. All right, now we're going to get to the ggplot part. You can come over, so ggplot. All right, and then plus, so we're doing a bar plot, so we're going to use the geom bar function. We're going to do mapping equals AES. And we have on the x-axis Paul. See, I tried to do poly again. Paul satis, and then y equals period prop. Again, this is for the percentages on the y-axis. Group, we have strong leader, so this is how it's going to be grouped together. Fill is strong leader. Stat equals count. And then position dodge. All right, so we've done this all before in a previous video. All right, then we have our continuation with the piping. All right, let's do this. Let's add our labels. We can do these. We can do these in any order, really. Okay, so title, satisfaction with current political system as the overall title, and then we're going to throw a subtitle on, and that subtitle will be by authoritarian, that's a tricky word, authoritarian regime support. And then X is, hold on, oh, not regime, regime. X is actually this, so we're just going to steal this to save ourselves some time. Okay, and then fill, so this is where like the legend is on the right hand side. I'm gonna abbreviate this as author. All right, you said that. AUTH period regime, and then we'll do Y equals %. And again, we could, you know, we can put these in any order, really. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so we have our labels. Okay, so this is the one part that we have not done before. We're going to use scale X continuous, which we have used before. All right, we're going to put in breaks equals C for concatenate 1, 10. So we set the X to be 1 through 10. But then what we're going to do is add labels to those endpoints. And so we're going to do labels equals C, not at all satisfied. All right, comma, quote, completely satisfied. Did I spell that? I spelled that wrong. Satisfied is a tough word. Now it looks like satisfied to me. Yeah. Good enough. All right, so again, what that's going to do is on the x-axis, it's going to put the label not at all satisfied at the first value and completely satisfied at the last value. All right, we're going to add one other option here. We are going to do guide equals guide axis, and within that we're going to do angle equals 45. So that puts the labels at a 45-degree angle. Okay, closed out from the scale X continuous, I'm going to do scale Y continuous, and this is labels equals % format, and then plus theme minimal. All right, just so it comes through kind of nice. And then the last thing we will do is do scale fill Veritas D. Okay, so that as I mentioned before, is kind of like a color palette. That's not really. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's run it and see what it looks like, see if we made any mistakes. It's ignoring those. That means we made a mistake. Okay, let me figure this out. All right, so the mistake I made is that this needs to close here. We need a close parenthesis right here because stat and position are not part of AES. I think I messed that up when we did this same kind of thing before. All right, let's try it again. Let's see if there's another mistake here. It still didn't show up for some reason. And I need to figure that out. Okay, so this is not a continuation. That needs to be a plus, because this is within ggplot. Alright. So I could edit this out of all these videos, but I actually like to leave them in because rarely is it the case we get it all right on the first go. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if there's another mistake happening. Yay! Okay. It worked, and it looks like it's supposed to look. Alright, so we see on the x-axis here, the lowest value is not at all satisfied, the highest value is completely satisfied. The bars are dodged, and they correspond to the values here. If we had more labels for this variable, we might have put them in, you know, kind of like a middle ones might look nice, but there actually isn't. It's just bounded. It goes from 1 to 10, and there's not at all satisfied and completely satisfied. And people are asked to kind of put themselves in that range. Okay, so let's look at the endpoints here. So people who are not at all satisfied, we see that over 30% of people who said that a authoritarian regime would be very bad said not at all satisfied. Okay, so we don't know what the option is, right? So it's not like they're necessarily saying they don't like democracy or authoritarianism. We don't know, right? We also see that a high percentage of people who said authoritarian regime would be very good also are not at all satisfied. We might have a little more confidence there that those folks would prefer an authoritarian regime. And then if we look at completely satisfied, it's actually the highest percent here is people that says very good. Okay, so, you know, we can kind of diagnose some of this, but we're looking for just, you know, what stands out, sort of basic conclusions. I'm not a content expert at all by any stretch of the imagination of Kenyan politics society. So other folks might see something here and immediately know what's going on. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.